Hello and welcome back to the YouTube page. It's been a couple of days, couple of weeks, but welcome back. We're going to be doing what's called the PvP preparation. This is a new kind of thing I'm going to give a shot at trying, where I explain for PvP players prepping for a relatively large event. This time is going to be the Go Wild Area Global. How best to kind of prep. So let's get into it. I'm just going to use paint today because it's easy. So let's get into it. So what I'm going to recommend for all of you, as I get my music going here, is that there's going to be categories of things that all PvP players care about. Okay, so the first one is going to be dust. Oops. Can't spell. The first thing you want to focus on is dust. So what things under dust can you get? The second thing that you're going to want to focus on is the spawns. What are the Pokemon that I should focus on spawn-wise to actually get for PvP? Stuff that I might want to use in PvP, new stuff for PvP, etc, etc, etc. And on my list here, I also have, if you are looking for like XLs, that's gonna fall under the spawn pool. And if you're looking for different features like raids or whatever, some of those things are gonna matter. So under all of this, it's also I'm gonna have kind of a side thing that we're gonna kind of take into consideration is what leagues are you interested in playing? So these are actually just gonna be these 3 leagues only for this particular event. Most PvP players don't really care about Little Cup, but I'll write it down here. So this is your Little Cup, your 500. So this is the 500 CP league. This is your 500. This is your this is your 2500 league, and this is your 1500 league, right? So those are your different leagues. Okay, now under this, I will tell you just right out of the gate, the number one thing you should be focusing on this whole event, the number one is trades. Anytime there is a big event where players will gather in a local environment or do a lot of really big things, like something that had a global for a really cool in-person event, those are when more people come to those events. So focus on those trades, get people that are new on your friends list, focus with that, finding new people, get out there, be social, try to go with some groups to meet other groups and do trades for things that can go under 1500, things that are rare. Stockpile your own Stardust if you can, get Tapu Finis, go for Giratina Origins, go for Heatrans. If you got something spicy you want to try, you can get trades with people for low IV floors on legendaries, like super rare stuff that you might want, or just spicy things. But in general, Morpeko is kind of a very good one. If everyone's got Morpeko, you can always ask for any new trade for 0 heart trade, for 1 heart trades for Morpeko. That's like the number one thing that you should do. What's the new mon that's locked to eggs, locked to raids, locked to any other thing that you can't get outside of the wild spawn? So like Morpeko and Toxtricity, if you want to use those in GBL or Show 6, now's the time. So I will tell you that Toxtricity is the new one. Toxtricity is not going to be Great League viable if you get one in a weather boosted raid. However, if you do the Gigantamax and the Dynamax versions, there actually will be Dynamax versions. You can get Toxtricities in those that will also be viable for Great League, as long as they're not weather boosted. So good luck doing those. Hopefully it doesn't rain for you. That's the big one. And then it's going to be pretty tough because I think cloudy weather also makes it tough if it's because it's poison and electric. So cloudy and rainy is not good combination for these things. I'm not sure if the weather boost doesn't affect them if they're in the Gigantamax and the Dynamax ones, so those may be safer. So if you've got teams for them, I highly recommend doing them if you want to have a spicy mon. Otherwise, just go trade for other stuff. Okay, so the Mighty Mons. What's in the Mighty Mon pool? And why should you care? So Mighty, actually, I would say doesn't really matter too much for spawns, but matters more for dust. So if you can, the Mighty Mons are all stage 2 or stage 3 evolutions, which are going to be dust boosted. If they're weather boosted and IV boosted, I would highly recommend catching every single one of these as much as you can just for the dust alone. The other thing that you can find is if you want to get more of these for spawn rates, if you're into Ultra League, there are 2 Pokemon you can focus on for Ultra League mainly. Pidgeot will have Gust, so it is a elite TM you can save yourself on. If it's weather boosted and or a mighty Pokemon, you have a highly likelihood of getting a hundo of this. So hundo hunt this thing. And Galvantula is the other one that you can hunt for Ultra League. If you're hunting for Master League, on the other hand, you have a lot more options in your disposal. You've got Electivire, you've got Dragonite. The global event doesn't have this, but we could hunt Garchomp and Overquill and Snorlax. Those are the 3 ones that the in-person event had that you will not have, but Snorlax will be in raids, so you can try for the Snorlax with the jacket. You don't have that yet. But yeah, the mighty Pokemon, that's kind of it. Feraligatr and Venusaur are probably the best 2 to hunt, just because they're good and Gyarados. Gyarados and Venusaur, great megas, great attackers for rockets, great raid attackers, good typing, really strong. Both of them have community moves that you can avoid using an elite charge TM on. And Feraligatr is universally useful in Master League and attacking raids and also in rockets, and is going to be boosted level wise, so it's really, really good as well. And not to mention, all 3 of those will have their moves. If you don't have a Dragonite yet, Dragonite's also a good one to go for the same reasons, but you know, you can also have a new Mega that you don't have to power up and save some Stardust. I will be still hunting Toxapex because it's one of my favorite Pokemon. Dragalge is another one that you can have a high IV version instead of like a super XL one that might be good for you to try using in Ultra League for our budget. If you want, that's an option. The other thing here I have written down is that do the Gmax battles when you can, because the Gmax battles will have 25,000 Stardust per clear, and XL rare was guaranteed for me in the in-person events. So the other is that you can do Dialga and Palkia origins are great. I've also heard that you can get the primals this global event, which were not for our event. These are good for dust and good for spawns if you don't have them. So pretty universally useful. The moves are a little bit more likely this time around. At least it felt that way for me. So good luck getting your hundos and your other things for Master League for those. Those are universally the best Pokemon in the cup. The Toxtricity, again, I already mentioned, is really good for, you know, getting rare XLs. In-person raids, also those. Snorlax is another spawn you can focus on. I'll write that down here. It's not as good anymore, but it used to be really, really strong. It's still pretty solid. Other spawns that you might want to pay attention to is the Quillfishes. They don't have a lot of spawning like for the Hisuian and the normal ones. So if you want to get them, now's a good time to hunt them, I would say. Toxapex, if you don't have that yet, is like one of the best current Pokemon in that pool. Yeah, I think these are like the main ones that I would hunt if you don't have them yet. But there's a lot of pretty good Pokemon in here, like Magnezone. There's other stuff in there that you can hunt, but for the most part, most people have like the generic stuff that's like kind of Kanto, Johto Pokemon in that pool that you don't really need. Just try to pay attention to the things that are in the pool. But yeah, that's kind of the main ones that I would focus on. And if you're into shinies, you can go for that. Just be careful about the weather boost. Remember, the weather boost is not really going to help you with most Pokemon when it comes to PvP IVs, but you can focus on the weather boost for the Stardust and for some Ultra League spreads. Again, if you don't have a lot of people for trades, like I'd recommend is like the #1 thing for community stuff for PvP. Ask people when you want to add them if they can freeze you on their friends list. Don't open your gifts. Don't send gifts. Don't send raids. Just hoard or remove them right after the event to save the friendships until you're done with your 7 days of trades at 1 heart. Do your 0 heart trade for Morpeko or something before you do anything, and then you can do your 1 heart trades for special. They are more expensive Stardust if not everyone's really keen on doing it, but if they're looking for something that you got, then that's the best way to bait them into doing trades. So good luck doing this. It's not gonna be an easy thing, but if you can do that, try to catch stuff that maybe you don't want that other people want, and then you can try to trade some of the mighty Pokemon that might be shiny for something that you want that's a PvP mon that's low IV for Great League. But yeah, I think that's basically it. I actually have a decent 10-minute video for you guys this time around. But yeah, if you're prepping for global, this is what I would say. Focus on trades. If you like Toxtricity, it's not bad. If you want to connect with the Gmax, I like the system. I think it's fun. It's a fun little challenge. And the other reason that you do new systems that people don't like doing is, in general, if you finish a new system and you interact with it, they, as Niantic, typically will put things in those systems that are going to be exclusive to them, like Toxtricity. So if there's going to be any new Gmax stuff that's coming out that is a PvP mon or something that could be used in PvP that you want as either a spice pick or is a good Pokemon in PvP, then they could be locked to this system and you're going to want to have teams for it. So I'm just building like really basic teams. You don't have to do super hard in this. I'd say like the bare minimum to have something to grind is to like power things up to 30. That's when the bell curve gets weaker for Gmax battles and participation. I've got like stuff that I've maxed out at 40 instead of 50, so you can do that. But again, you can't get mighty Pokemon that are Gmax, so it's kind of a really dumb trade-off, and so you can save yourself some Stardust there. But the Gmax battles do award 25,000 Stardust per clear and a guaranteed rare XL candy, and it's 200 Pokecoins if you want to double it. So you can go 50,000 in 2, or you can go more Stardust than that if you've got a start piece going. Good luck out there. I really hope that all of you guys have a great experience with your global tour. Just check the spawns. I believe some of the spawns will change from day 1 to day 2. Just be checking websites like LeakDuck, or you can check the official blog post at Pokemon Go Live in their news tab. Thanks so much for watching the video. I really appreciate it if you've seen this. And if Pokélid sent you, please drop a comment and that Pokélid sent you. He's a good friend of mine. He's in our community here in Fukuoka. So yeah, if you have any other questions, I did go to the global event. I've been posting a lot on X. You can find me on X at NotRob. You can also find me on my Twitch page at NotRobMay, live 4 or 5 days a week. I'll see you guys later. Thanks for watching. Bye.